If someone touches one specific spot on your body, it's not random. It's a psychological tell that something deeper is happening beneath the surface. And once you understand why that spot matters, you'll stop guessing and start reading attraction like a strategist, not a hopeful observer. If this is opening your eyes to how attraction really works, hit like and subscribe now, because every video here teaches you how to read people, not just impress them. Subtle touch is a signal of comfort before it is a signal of desire, and understanding this changes the entire way attraction should be read. Most people assume that any physical contact automatically means interest, but psychology shows that the brain first needs safety before it allows emotional or romantic curiosity to grow. When someone lightly touches your arm, shoulder, or hand in a natural moment, what they are really communicating is not craving yet, but acceptance into their personal space. This is important because personal space is protected by the subconscious as a form of emotional territory, and only people who feel relaxed and unthreatened are allowed inside it. That small contact is the mind saying, "You belong here," long before it ever says, "I want more." Attraction works in layers, and comfort is always the foundation layer. Without it, desire feels risky, forced, or unsafe, which is why confident individuals focus on creating ease rather than intensity. When comfort is established, the nervous system relaxes, conversations flow naturally, laughter becomes genuine, and connection feels effortless instead of strategic. That is when subtle touch appears, not as a bold move, but as a natural extension of emotional closeness. The mistake many people make is reacting to that moment too aggressively, assuming it is a green light for escalation, when in reality, it is simply the first green light for staying exactly as you are. The strongest attraction is built when someone feels safe enough to move closer without pressure, and intrigued enough to want that closeness to last. This is why calm confidence is more magnetic than excitement, and presence is more powerful than performance. When you understand that subtle touch means comfort first, you stop chasing signals and start becoming the kind of person others naturally feel drawn to, because real desire doesn't grow from being impressed. It grows from feeling understood, relaxed, and emotionally at ease in someone's space. The forearm and shoulder are considered the safest gateway zones of attraction because they sit in a psychological middle ground between distance and intimacy, allowing connection to grow without triggering defensiveness or pressure. These areas are socially acceptable to touch in everyday situations, which means the brain does not immediately label the contact as risky or intrusive, yet they are close enough to the core of the body to carry emotional meaning. When someone chooses these spots, the subconscious is testing closeness while still maintaining control over personal boundaries, creating a bridge between simple friendliness and deeper interest. This is why touches on these areas often happen during moments of laughter, agreement, or shared understanding, because emotion lowers resistance and makes physical connection feel natural rather than forced. The mind reads this as a safe experiment in proximity, a way of saying, "I'm comfortable being closer to you," without saying it out loud. Over time, repeated contact in these gateway zones builds familiarity, and familiarity slowly transforms into emotional attachment. What makes this powerful is that it happens below conscious awareness, where people don't feel manipulated or rushed, only drawn in by a sense of ease they can't fully explain. Many misunderstand attraction by looking for dramatic signs, but psychology shows that trust grows in small, repeated gestures that feel normal in the moment but meaningful over time. The forearm and shoulder allow attraction to breathe because they give space for curiosity to build instead of pushing it into instant definition. When someone feels no pressure to label what is happening, they become more open to feeling it, and that openness is what eventually turns comfort into craving. Understanding this shifts your mindset from chasing reactions to creating an environment where connection feels inevitable rather than forced. Because when people feel safe in your presence, they naturally move closer without needing persuasion. And that quiet movement is the real beginning of attraction, long before words or bold actions ever enter the picture. People touch where they already feel emotionally connected, and this principle reveals that physical contact is rarely the beginning of attraction, but rather the confirmation of something that has already formed inside the mind. Long before the body reaches out, the brain has decided that a person feels familiar, safe, and meaningful enough to cross an invisible boundary. Emotional connection acts like a permission slip that tells the nervous system it is okay to reduce distance because closeness no longer feels risky, it feels natural. This is why touch often appears after shared experiences, deep conversations, or moments of mutual understanding, not at the start of an interaction, but after trust has quietly taken root. When people feel emotionally aligned, their subconscious looks for small ways to express that bond, and touch becomes the most honest language available because it cannot be faked the way words can. A light contact on the arm, a brief tap on the shoulder, or a gentle guiding touch during movement all signal that the person already feels connected enough to include you in their physical space. This is also why forced touch feels uncomfortable, because when emotional connection is missing, the body senses the mismatch immediately and pulls back. Real attraction grows when emotional closeness leads and physical closeness follows, never the other way around. Understanding this changes your behavior from trying to create attraction through action to allowing attraction to reveal itself through comfort. Instead of searching for bold signs, you begin noticing patterns of ease, relaxed body language, and natural proximity that show someone already feels bonded to you on a deeper level. This awareness keeps you from misreading signals and helps you respond with patience rather than pressure. When you respect the order of connection first and touch second, you position yourself as someone who understands human nature instead of fighting it. And that understanding quietly increases your value because people feel seen rather than rushed, understood rather than pushed, and emotionally safe before anything else ever needs to happen. Timing matters more than location when it comes to touch, because the emotional state of the moment decides how that contact will be interpreted by the mind. A touch that happens at the wrong time can feel awkward or intrusive, while the same touch at the right moment can feel meaningful and even unforgettable. Psychology shows that emotions act like amplifiers, and when someone is already experiencing a positive feeling such as laughter, relief, excitement, or connection, the brain links that feeling to whatever happens next. This is why touch after a shared laugh hits deeper than touch at any random moment, because laughter lowers defenses and creates a brief window where people feel open, relaxed, and emotionally synchronized. In that state, the nervous system is no longer in protection mode, it is in reception mode, making every small gesture feel warmer and more personal. The brain quietly associates the good feeling with the person who is present in that moment, strengthening attraction without conscious effort. This is not manipulation, it is natural conditioning that happens in everyday human bonding, where experiences shape emotional memory. When someone touches you during a positive emotional spike, the mind stores that touch as part of the happiness, not just as physical contact. Over time, this builds a powerful emotional link because the person begins to feel good simply being around you, even without understanding why. Many people focus too much on where to touch and forget when to touch, missing the psychological truth that timing creates meaning. A perfectly chosen spot at the wrong time feels empty, but a simple, respectful touch at the right time feels electric. This understanding shifts your attention from strategy to awareness, helping you become present in moments instead of forcing actions. When you learn to sense emotional peaks, you stop trying to create attraction and start allowing it to form naturally, because real connection is not built through precision, but through presence, and the right moment always carries more power than the perfect move. Mirroring touch often reveals unconscious interest, because the human brain is wired to copy the behavior of people it feels drawn to, long before the conscious mind admits what is happening. This process is called behavioral synchrony, and it appears when two people begin matching each other's posture, tone, pace of speech, and eventually physical gestures without realizing it. When someone mirrors your movements or lightly returns a similar kind of touch, it is rarely a calculated action, but a reflex that signals emotional alignment. The nervous system naturally wants to stay in rhythm with people it feels safe and connected with, because harmony reduces tension and increases comfort. This is why mirroring happens most strongly when attraction is present, even if it has not yet been spoken or acknowledged. A simple example is when you lean in and the other person subtly does the same, or when a casual touch is returned in the same area later in the interaction. These are not coincidences, they are signs of psychological resonance. The mind is quietly saying, "We are on the same wavelength," and the body follows that message through imitation. What makes mirroring powerful is that it feels natural, never forced, which is why it carries more truth than words or dramatic gestures. People can fake confidence and compliments, but it is almost impossible to fake unconscious synchronization over time. When mirroring appears, it shows that attraction is not just intellectual, but emotional and physical on a subconscious level. This is also why mirroring builds comfort so quickly, because familiarity grows when two people feel in sync, even without trying. The mistake many make is overanalyzing isolated moments instead of noticing patterns, because mirroring is revealed through consistency, not a single gesture. When someone repeatedly reflects your energy, your movements, and your closeness, it shows that your presence feels good to them on a deep level. Understanding this helps you stop chasing validation and start observing natural alignment, allowing attraction to unfold in a way that feels effortless rather than manufactured, where connection grows because both nervous systems already feel at ease in each other's space. Confidence is communicated through calm stillness, not chasing, because the human brain reads emotional stability as strength long before it notices words or actions. When someone is truly confident, they do not rush to prove themselves, seek constant validation, or react impulsively to every signal of attention. Instead, they remain grounded, present, and unshaken by uncertainty, and that emotional control sends a powerful message of self-worth. Psychology shows that people are naturally drawn to those who seem comfortable in their own space, because calm energy feels safe, and safety is the foundation of attraction. When you chase, you communicate need. When you stay still, you communicate choice. This difference changes how others perceive you at a subconscious level. Stillness tells the mind, this person is not trying to win me. They are already complete. And that sense of completeness creates intrigue. Attraction grows faster around mystery than around desperation, and calm behavior always carries more mystery than restless effort. When someone does not overreact to small signs of interest, it makes those signs feel more valuable because they are not being exploited or rushed into meaning. The nervous system of the other person relaxes, knowing there is no pressure, and that relaxation allows curiosity to deepen naturally. Many believe confidence is loud, expressive, and bold. But in reality, the strongest confidence is quiet and controlled, expressed through patience, steady eye contact, and emotional consistency. This kind of presence makes others feel seen without being overwhelmed, appreciated without being chased. It creates space for attraction to grow instead of forcing it to happen. When you master calm stillness, you stop trying to control outcomes and start allowing connections to unfold at their own pace. That patience is not passive, it is powerful because it shows that you trust yourself enough to let people come to you rather than pulling them toward you. In a world full of noise, urgency, and over-explanation, stillness becomes rare, and what is rare becomes valuable. When someone feels that calm energy around you, they don't just notice you, they feel drawn to you because your presence feels like stability in motion, and stability is one of the deepest forms of attraction there is. Reading context prevents misinterpretation of signals because human behavior never exists in isolation, and a single action can mean completely different things depending on the situation surrounding it. Many people make the mistake of judging attraction based on one moment, one gesture, or one reaction, without considering the emotional, social, and environmental factors that shape that behavior. Psychology shows that the brain fills in gaps when information is incomplete, often projecting hope or fear onto neutral actions. A touch, a smile, or a laugh can be a sign of comfort, politeness, nervousness, or simple friendliness, and without context, the mind chooses the meaning it wants most. This is where misinterpretation begins. True understanding comes from observing patterns instead of moments, consistency instead of coincidence. When someone repeatedly seeks proximity, initiates conversation, and engages emotionally over time, those signals carry far more weight than a single physical gesture. Context also includes timing, mood, and setting, because people behave differently in social environments, professional spaces, or emotional situations, and each environment changes the meaning of their actions. Reading context means asking yourself not what happened, but why it happened in that moment. Was there laughter that lowered defenses? Was there comfort already built? Was the interaction relaxed or rushed? These questions protect you from confusing politeness with desire and interest with intention. The strongest connections grow when both people feel understood rather than assumed. When you slow down and observe the full picture, you respond with clarity instead of impulse. And that clarity creates emotional intelligence, which is far more attractive than guessing games. People feel safer around those who don't jump to conclusions, because safety comes from being seen accurately, not exaggerated or misunderstood. This awareness also protects your self-respect, because you stop chasing signals that were never meant as invitations. Instead of reacting emotionally to every small sign, you become grounded, selective, and intentional in your responses. That grounded presence changes how others experience you, because you no longer come across as reactive or uncertain, but calm and perceptive. When someone feels that you truly understand situations instead of projecting onto them, they relax and open up more naturally. This is how real attraction is built, not through assumptions, but through awareness. Context turns confusion into clarity, and clarity turns interactions into connections that feel natural instead of forced, where both people move forward with understanding rather than expectation. Attraction grows strongest when safety and excitement exist together, because the human brain is wired to seek both comfort and stimulation at the same time. Safety alone creates stability, but without excitement, it turns into routine. Excitement alone creates intensity, but without safety, it turns into anxiety. Real attraction lives in the balance between these two forces. When someone feels emotionally safe with you, their nervous system relaxes, allowing trust, openness, and vulnerability to develop. They feel understood, respected, and unpressured, which makes being around you feel easy. But when that safety is paired with a sense of unpredictability, confidence, and emotional spark, the connection becomes powerful instead of passive. This is where attraction shifts from friendly to magnetic. Psychology shows that people bond most deeply in environments where they feel secure enough to explore emotions and excited enough to stay engaged. This is why calm confidence mixed with playful energy is so compelling, because it sends two messages at once. You are safe here, and you won't get bored here. When only one of these messages is present, attraction stalls. Too much safety without excitement feels like comfort without desire. Too much excitement without safety feels thrilling but unstable. The mind craves both, even if people are not consciously aware of it. This balance is what creates emotional tension in the best way, not stress, but anticipation. When someone feels relaxed around you yet still curious about you, attraction naturally deepens. They are not guarding themselves, but they are not indifferent either. This combination makes moments feel meaningful, conversations feel alive, and presence feel memorable. Many try to force attraction by being either too intense or too passive. but the real power is in being steady while still intriguing. When you create an atmosphere where someone feels emotionally protected yet mentally stimulated, you become someone they associate with both peace and passion. That dual association is rare, and rarity increases value in the subconscious. Over time, this balance builds not just interest but emotional attachment because people don't just remember how you made them feel in one way, they remember how you made them feel in every way. When safety and excitement move together, attraction stops being temporary and starts becoming something that feels deep, natural, and impossible to ignore.